Well, welcome to the Daily News Network, and today you're on a mission with Jack Sears, where we visit with local business leaders and nonprofit leaders to talk about their mission and how they're bringing that into reality. Today, we have joining us on the show is Tommy Ferretti with Foundations of Freedom Inc. Welcome to the show, Tommy.
Thank you, Jack. It's a
Great.
pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so Tommy, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then tell us about Foundations of Freedom.
Well, my name is Tommy Ferretti, and we started Foundations of Freedom back in 2021, June of 2021. What we do is we provide um, a program for men that are struggling with addiction and alcoholism. My wife and I had the vision in 2021. I personally struggled with addiction for about 20 years of my life, and in the midst of my addiction, I've been in and out of places I didn't want to end up, such as rehabs and jails and prison and different sober livings, everywhere from New York to down here in Jacksonville. And
Okay.
nothing ever really seemed to work for me. I found that it was always one way or the highway. A lot of the places I went to were in some really rough neighborhoods in Jacksonville, where it was really easy to just relapse and destroy my life. It was always my fault. I always made the bad choices, but my life just took a decline. Day by day, my life declined more and more. I ended up losing access to my children and losing access to my friends and family because of the bridges that burnt. This led to a suicide attempt in 2020, January 15th, 2020, and I ended up in the hospital. I survived. I know now that it was by the grace of God that I drove my car into a tree at 80 miles an hour, unbuckled, and woke up in a hospital bed with no teeth, tubes coming out of my lungs, a new hip and femur, scars all over my head. And when I woke up, I was angry. I was like, I didn't want to be here. And there was a young man sitting next to the bedside from a local church, Elevate Life Church. His name is Pastor Mark. And I looked at him. I didn't know who he was. And I said, "Get me out of here. I need to finish the job. I want to die." And he said, "Tommy, God doesn't want you dead, obviously. And if you try again, you're going to get even uglier. And you're in pretty bad shape right now." So he got a little giggle out of me. But he sat with me daily, and just he didn't push faith on me or anything. He just talked about my life experiences. And about a week or two later, I realized maybe I don't want to die.
Okay.
Maybe I do want to get better. And he told me, "You got to try something else. You got to try God." And like I said, I've been in programs, and it was either all God-based and faith-based, and it kind of turned me off, and I ran away from it. And then I've been in places that are all 12-step and secular-based, and um, it didn't work for me. So I listened to Pastor Mark, and he brought me to church, and he asked me to go to 3 AA meetings a week, asked me to attend Celebrate Recovery, read Purpose Driven Life, and then sitting and serving at the local church and just building the community. And for the first time in my life, I got 90 days sober, then 6 months sober, and then a year sober. And then I met my amazing wife, named Natasha. She wasn't my wife at the time, but we started dating. And I thought I was going to be the next recovery pastor of Jacksonville. I ended up joining ministry school, and but God had different plans. My wife and I, we were sitting on the beach one day, just thinking about helping others and what our purpose is. And there were some people that saw my life change, and they were asking for help, and I'd send them to different programs, and they were dropping like flies. Like I said, a lot of them are in areas that are hard to succeed. And God put it on our hearts to open up a program that's different than all the others. And we decided to name it Foundations of Freedom. It's a program for men struggling with addiction and alcoholism. We take them in. We have guys that come from homelessness, jail, prison, just rehabs, local rehabs, and we provide them a safe environment with the curriculum that I use to get sober. So it's not rocket science. It's just, if I could do it, anybody could do it. So we combine the biblical principles with the secular principles. So we do biblical and 12-step work with the men. So they don't have to believe in anything specific to come to us. We just kind of pave their road to have long-term recovery.
You know, it's an amazing story, and praise God that you share it with us today. And hopefully that there might be some people out there who are listening who've heard your story and would want to learn more. Perhaps maybe avail themselves of a calling to your services. Maybe they'd like to donate their time or stroke a check. I'm sure you could use some financial support at some point, right?
Absolutely.
And how would those listening in here, Tommy, how would those listening in, how would they connect with you to learn more?
Well, you can go onto our website, www.foundationsoffreedominc.com, and all of our information's on there. You could email us through that. You could call me through that. My phone number's on there. From 2021, we had 6 beds, and we just opened up our 7th location in February of this year, bringing it to 44 beds. And we are aiming to open up our 8th location by the end of the year. So we'll have a total number of 50 beds, and you can find all that information on our social media and website.
Oh, outstanding. Well, I hope people will go. Thanks for being with us here today.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Jack.
good. Well, that's it, folks. That's the time we have here today. And you've been on a mission here at the Daily News Network. Perhaps you've learned something new and different. Perhaps you know somebody who could benefit from the services that Tommy and his organization are providing. Perhaps you'd like to stroke a check to help them out. Well, if so, why don't you revisit this interview and better yet, share it with somebody else by going to thedailynewsnetwork.com. Until we get together next time, here's wishing you good health, much happiness, and remember, treat each other the way you'd like to be treated.